The aggressive man attacked the black woman in the supermarket and the supermarket was bustling with activity. Shoppers moved between aisles, carts filled with goods, and the hum of conversations filled the air. Among them, Aaliyah, a black woman in her early 30s, was holding her son's hand as they navigated through the store. Little Malik, no more than 6 years old, clung tightly to his mother's side, his eyes filled with curiosity as he observed the colorful packaging on the shelves. As they reached for a carton of milk, Aaliyah accidentally brushed against a tall, broad-shouldered white man who was holding a basket full of groceries. The sudden movement caused his items to tumble to the floor. A jar of pickles shattered on impact, splattering juice across the tiles. Aaliyah gasped, immediately crouching down to help pick up the fallen goods. "I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to," she started. But the man's face twisted with rage. "Are you blind? Look at this mess," he bellowed, his voice cutting through the chatter in the store. Aaliyah froze. The man's eyes burned with fury, his veins bulging. People turned to look, their faces a mix of curiosity and concern. Before she could react, the man's hand shot out, striking her across the face with a loud slap. The impact sent her staggering backward. Malik screamed in terror, gripping her leg tightly. Gasps erupted from the bystanders, and a woman in a red sweater stepped forward. "Sir, that was completely uncalled for," she protested. Another shopper, an elderly man, shook his head. "There's no need for violence. She was just trying to help." But the man ignored them. He pointed a finger at Aaliyah, his lips curling in disgust. "You owe me for all of this. I want you to pay for everything." Aaliyah, still reeling from the slap, instinctively pulled Malik behind her. "Sir, please, I didn't mean to knock over your things. I'll pay. Just please don't scare my son." The man sneered. "Maybe if you watched where you were going, you wouldn't be teaching your brat bad habits." Malik whimpered, tears streaming down his cheeks. The tension in the supermarket was thick, the air heavy with an unspoken fear. Then, a firm voice cut through the scene. "That's enough." A police officer, a tall figure in uniform, stepped forward from where he had been standing near the entrance. His badge gleamed under the store's fluorescent lights, and his eyes were locked onto the aggressive man. The man turned, his expression flickering between anger and unease. "This has nothing to do with you, officer. This woman, I saw everything," the officer interrupted, his tone unwavering. "You assaulted her in front of witnesses, and you threatened a child. That's not something I can ignore." The officer reached for his handcuffs. "Sir, I need you to put your hands behind your back." The man scoffed, his bravado faltering. "You can't be serious. She knocked over my groceries, and you responded with violence. That's assault," the officer said sternly. "You're coming with me." The crowd watched in tense silence as the officer secured the man's wrists in handcuffs. Aaliyah exhaled, her hands trembling as she held Malik close. "Are you okay, ma'am?" the officer asked, his voice softer now. Aaliyah nodded slowly. "I think so. Thank you." The officer offered a reassuring nod before turning to the onlookers. "If anyone wants to provide a statement, please stay behind." Several shoppers stepped forward, eager to ensure justice was served. As the officer escorted the man out of the store, Malik tugged at his mother's sleeve. "Mommy, is he going to jail?" Aaliyah stroked his hair gently. "He's going to face the consequences of his actions." "Sweetheart." The elderly man who had spoken earlier stepped closer. "You handled that well, young lady. Stay strong." Aaliyah smiled weakly, still shaken but grateful, as she led Malik toward the checkout. The warmth of supportive strangers replaced the chill of fear. Justice had been served that day, and though the sting of the slap lingered, so did the strength she found in herself, and the kindness of those who refused to stay silent.